Welcome to another edition of Smalltalk for you. This morning I wanted to go through something that came up at work recently. I wanted to install a personal store repository on my Windows machine. That Windows machine is pretty locked down. I couldn't install Postgres. Obviously I couldn't install something like Oracle because I need root access to do that. What I wanted was something simple. So I went to the SQLLite homepage and I grabbed this zip file, which is the SQLLite DLLs. And once I'd gotten that downloaded, I just copied the DLLs into my working directory. Now the working directory is under Documents, and obviously I have permission to put it there. So whatever directory I have my working images in, I can put the SQLLite stuff in. Once I've done that, if you're on a more recent version of VisualWorks, you can just go to the Parcel Manager. And once you open this up, you can come down here and scroll to Version Control down here at the bottom. And you'll find that in the listing is store for SQLLite. You can just go ahead and load this. Go ahead and load that. If you're on an older version of VisualWorks, what you want to do is go to the Syncom Smalltalk Public Store repository, find a version that's dated, and this is what I was doing because we're using 7.6 at work. I had to find a version that was dated 2008. I just took the latest version from 2008, loaded that, and everything worked fine. So once you've done that, what you can do is come in here to a workspace and do something like this, store.db registry. Notice how it's spelled, capital D, lowercase b. Install database tables. And then just highlight that and do it. And it'll come up in prompt. And I'm going to change this from, well, I'm going to leave that alone. I don't have a connection profile, but I want to change this to SQLLite. And then I want to change my environment string to something more basic, like a file name. So I'll call this personal. And then it doesn't really matter what password you put in here. I'm just going to put in my same username there, JAROBER, and then clone it, because again, this doesn't matter for this. I'm going to hit connect, and it's just going to do a whole bunch of things up here. It's going to prompt me, so I'll give it a unique name, personal again, and install the management policies. Go ahead and say yes, and just hit OK on that. I have to open the repository manager. I have to define a connection to it, so let's do that. File, new, repository new rather, and we'll call this personal. If I could actually spell it, personal, come down here, select SQLLite connection. And for environment, I just need to give it that same thing I typed in, personal. And again, the username and password doesn't matter. I'll just put them in kind of for completeness purposes. Hit OK. And now I've got it in there. And now I can come in here and select personal out from there. And I've connected. Now there's nothing in it. It's an empty repository. But if you're on a lockdown Windows box and the only place you can write is your working directory, SQLLite's a perfect thing. You can just grab it, put it on your machine. Even if your machine is locked down from the standpoint that you can't download that from there, if you can get a flash drive, you could copy it from somewhere else and put it on your machine, and you're just installing it into your working directory structure, so it's very nice that way. So that's about it for today. Until next time, have fun with whatever Smalltalk you're using.